Greetings, everybody. So, this shouldn't take me very long. It's just a really quick thought that I was having. I'm outside, or I'm not outside, but my patio door's open and I'm looking outside, and I kind of like, my yard is probably pretty basic as yards go, but I've got this really cool, like, creek thingy behind my house, and then behind that is like some trees. So like in the summertime, the trees just completely cover. There's like an apartment complex on the other side of those trees, and in the summertime the trees, they go green again, and they just completely cover like the background. And I've got like this kind of secluded patio with these very like tall trees, and it's really beautiful. And I was thinking about art, and I was thinking about art this morning, which is really funny because I just got finished reading all of this hullabaloo about Bono and talking about Christian music or whatever, which I may or may not address. I don't know. It would be spur of the moment because I totally wasn't even planning on talking about that. It just literally happened just now. But I was thinking earlier about, if you don't have enough incentive to go to God, be reconciled to God, just consider this. We make art all the time. We are made in the image of God, and we make art, and sometimes it's a little bit vulgar or abstract. Maybe it's just like a dot on a canvas, or a freaking some Picasso like disjointed female nudity body with no head, and like freaking pubic hair made from like cotton balls or something. You know what I mean? Like, we can get really out there, and then we sit in a big panel and we discuss what that artist was thinking, and is he on trend or not, or is he rebelling, or is it meaningful, and why, and all of this stuff. And you sort of have to debate the value of something, and it gets very convoluted and subjective, and you have to have multiple degrees to appreciate this art or whatever. And then I think about the fact that people are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes in the millions even, for property that has a view. A view of what? Trees, like my view? Water, people. The sky. I'm talking about hundreds, thousands of dollars so they can see the ground and the trees from where they live. Okay? Now that's the next level artist right there. Like, it's nobody is balking over the idea of paying extra to be able to look out or live under, in, around the sand. The sand, guys. It's free. It's in abundance. Sand and water together. $500,000. I'll pay it. That sounds like a great deal. Like, seriously? That's art, people. The stuff we're doing, the belly button lint that we're producing, yeah, it's great. And, I'm glad we have the ability, but we are fooling ourselves if we think that we are in tune with the great artist. The great artist. we're surrounded by art. And if we can look at it or dwell with it, if we can have that opportunity, we are jumping at it. It heals us. It centers us. It makes us feel grateful. It literally enhances our life just to be near the sea and sky and the natural things. They are breathtaking. They will make you weep on any day of the week. And sometimes we make something cool too when we're not just completely stuck up our butts. Like, if you go to Greece and you see those that village or whatever, that's like everything's white with the blue roof. I mean, that's gorgeous, but it's gorgeous with the backdrop of the nature, like, when those things are working together. So what I'm saying is, like, and then people go to heaven and they literally will not put words to what they have seen. That's what we're dealing with. And you got people that are like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that because he wants me to give up my life. He wants me to, not hang out with certain people and, not do things that I want to do because I want to do those things. And I just don't think it's right that he tells people what they ought to be doing. Really? That's what you're giving up? That's what you're going to give up. Let's just say, as a shortcut, that God is basically the best beachfront property that you could ever have, times a million. And he says, well, you can live here and you can be with me, but, you got to give up your rock music. Which I don't even know if that's something he would say or not, but I'm just saying. We don't want to serve a God that does things that we feel like are trivial. But let's think about this the other way. You don't want to give up something trivial to have something like super awesome. Like, how does that make sense to you? Like, give up your stuff. Give up your stuff. Stop lying. I mean, it's all stuff that you shouldn't even have, and it's good for you anyway. He doesn't make you sacrifice anything. That is awesome. It's all crap that we don't need. Like, don't stop being negative. Stop not forgiving people. And, stop being, like, snobby. And give up all your possessions. Which, some people think is extreme or just, like, unnecessary. Again, with the trivialities. If God said, give up all your possessions, and this is essentially what he is saying, give up all your possessions and come live with me in paradise. That's like literally what you would do. If you knew you were going to paradise, you would leave all your shit. I'm sorry, I didn't say shit, but I just really want to. I apologize, I just offended some people. If you knew that you were going to go in paradise, like, I dare you to pack the bag that you're going to take to this place. You're going to take your iPhone and your freaking, like, what are you taking? You're going to take a book to read on the journey, and then you're going to literally discard the book when you get there, because the paradise is going to be, like, beyond. This paradise is beyond. What are you going to take there? You're going to take your money? Everything's free. Like, he says, abandon your possessions, don't take your bad attitude, and you can come with me. Like, what are you going to say? Well, I need to catch up on Game of Thrones, so I guess I'll just stay here. Like, you're stupid. So, that's my commentary on art. Nature as art, I guess, and God as artist. But, maybe I will say a word or two on this whole Bono thing. So, Bono feels like our art is a little disingenuous because we don't talk about our crap. And I'm one of those people. I like to say that there is merit and I understand. I actually feel like I understand what Bono means when he's talking about that. But the very fact that he is saying that makes me question what his motivation is. Because I was under the impression that he was a Christian. Just for the sake of for public knowledge's sake, that he's this person who believes in Jesus or whatever. And he's talking about disingenuous Christian art. I don't know. CCM music. Is it like the greatest thing in the world? No. Is it just because it's disingenuous? No, I think it's really derivative. I cringe when I hear something on Christian radio that I've heard on secular radio a couple of years before. I think there are tons of creative avenues that they don't go down, maybe for the sake of profits or business or whatever, which happens in the secular industry as well. But ultimately, when I think about the Christian radio and the songs that I'm listening to, I just see that we just need to give God, when we genuinely let God work through us, or when we do something in the attitude of pleasing Him, it shows, because that, whatever that thing is, if it's a song or a piece of art or whatever, He totally puts it's like His glory goes on it, and it becomes fruitful. It's not the art itself. It's not that what we produce does anything. It is Him seeing our heart and saying, if we're doing something to glorify Him or to bring people to Him or to serve Him in some way, He aids that art. He gives it, that essence that we all have that's from Him. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but all I know is there's Christian songs that they can go to the deepest reaches of society. Christian songs that when people wrote them, they probably were talking about just, that the little spat that they were having with their friend, or, maybe they were going through something very in depth, and they wrote a song about how, God, Jesus redeems, and no matter what you've done. And you hear this about some sex slave in Singapore that heard that song on the radio and just had got hope from it. It's like, whoa, it just can really be valuable. Whereas, something like Whoop, There It Is, as much as it gives joy to people, secular music never fails to show its age after a while. You got a couple of people who are geniuses that make classic, timeless music. It's typically not music that's it's like the vulgar stuff, the stuff on the fringes, the stuff that is just really, shock value stuff. It stays around, but mostly out of ooh, God, remember that song? Remember that thong song? Whew. Wow. And then it goes in your ear like an earworm, and you're like, please, God, why is this in my mind? That's not what art is supposed to do. But Christian songs, they don't have that aging problem at all. At all. There's some definite, fond things, 80s Christian music and 70s, they have their trademarks from being from that era. But as far as them being listenable and not oh my God, what were we thinking? Just listenable songs, that stays. And could they go a little deeper in some ways? Yeah, but there's plenty of people who are like, every time I listen to the Winans, it blows my mind. The Winans is a gospel group. It's like it's like a legendary gospel group. If you don't know who they are, then I can't help you. They're like the I don't know. Is there even an equivalent like the Jacksons? Only because they're just a big family of talented people, but they're like the bedrock of gospel, contemporary gospel music or whatever. But I'll listen to, like, something will come on the iPod and it will blow my mind. Just like the lyrics, they wrote their songs, and I think most gospel artists, I mean, I don't know, it's the closer it gets to the industry, the more controlled it's going to be, and that's true of any type of genre. But they wrote their own stuff, man, and those songs are, they're talking about all type of stuff. And I agree, the Psalms, David goes in about all different types of things. And there are songs to be sad to. There are Christian songs to lament and weep over. I don't listen to Christian music and feel like I'm being like cheated out of an artistic expression. Although sometimes I'll listen to our local CCM station, and it's like, okay, like I need to switch this off because it's the same old. But yet again, that could be said of any station across the country. So I feel like it's not the art maybe that's the problem. It's the industry that kind of takes everything and cuts the crust off, and you get the same sandwich. I think that seems to be the culprit in all of this. But yeah, I will say that because of that, they don't get pushed in these other directions that are more interesting. But whatever. At the end of the day, I think whatever the purpose of art is, which we can debate all day, but I'll tell you one thing, there is a purpose to art, and the person who knows what it is God. And more than likely, that purpose is going to accomplish it more fully in the Christian music than it will in the secular music. And now there are some secular songs that make me want to jump and dance and feel and do all this stuff. But is that fruit going to remain? Is that, after this world is over, I don't think anybody's going to hear those songs again. But I think some of the stuff that the Christians have created are going to remain because they glorify God. And I think a lot of Christian artists that maybe felt underappreciated or whatever are going to get to heaven and have angels singing their songs, and it's going to blow their mind, because most of those artists got their song, know where they got their songs, and they didn't just go into the booth and say, oh, I just raised my hands and I got this energy and then the song just came from nowhere. No, they know where their songs came from, and those songs are going to return back to the source. So what do I think about what Bono said? I don't know. I agree with him, but I don't think it's like a big old problem that we need to like loud cap the Christians and no one else. Because we all live in an industry, or we all have to listen to songs that are fielded by huge companies, and maybe that's what we need to get rid of. So I don't know. It seemed like there was something else he said that I was going to address. Something about it being like he's suspicious of Christians because of the music. I'm like, what? Are you? You need to be suspicious of freaking Drake and Rihanna and all of those weirdos. That's who you need to be suspicious of. Are you just going to them with open arms because of their songs? Because that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I'm totally off the rails now, and way beyond what I was going to edit. So, boo editing. Cheers.